Hello and welcome to the Manifest to Live Life Golden Show. This is episode 80. Yes, we are on episode 80. I can't even believe it. I am coming to you from Newport, California. I'm actually in a beach house. And I know like in the past, whenever I've seen people do videos in a beach house and, they're kind of bragging on themselves and it just used to feel really yucky to me. I'm realizing that I am doing this right now. And I'm hoping that you don't feel that way. I'm hoping that me being here and sharing my experiences with you actually just amplifies your life and helps you to realize that this is totally possible for you. If it's possible for me, it's possible for you. Why wouldn't it be? Like, why would I be born under a lucky star? It doesn't even make sense. We are all born under lucky stars. We are all stars. We are all part of the energy that stars make up. So why shouldn't we all be able to experience this? And no matter what your situation is right now, and I have been there, I've been close to being homeless. No, I've never been homeless, but I've been close. Actually, I have been homeless because we were in situations where we were staying in hotels looking for a home. So I understand wherever you are right now, this is entirely possible for you in a small and short time. You don't have to wait. You don't have to put it way out here and look into the future and say, oh, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that's going to be my life. You can start to live the identity of this right now. So I just got off of my first retreat and I only had I had the most amazing 2 participants I could have potentially ever had. And one of the things that I realized, because I had put this out to 8 women and 2 women had, kind of jumped on it and said it was a hell yes for them and the other women did not. And that's totally fine. But what I realized through this experience, we were together since Wednesday. Today is Tuesday or Monday. Today's Monday. I have no idea what day it is. I've lost my days. What I realized was the universe knows exactly what I need, exactly what they needed, exactly what I needed. And being together with this small, intimate group was so exactly how this thing needed to play out because you don't realize when you're about to do something like this, all of the parts and all of the responsibility of holding people in a space and working with them in their traumas and helping them heal and, working through all of this stuff and holding space for people is a massive responsibility. So I love that the universe knew that and took care of me. And it's great because today we're talking about universal support and we're talking about universal orchestration. And I had so much of that going on. I always do. But it's so much fun to do it with other people, like to have other people witnessing these miracles with me and saying, holy crap, you can't make this shit up. Like literally all this stuff is happening and it's like all of our minds are being blown. And that is so much fun. So I feel the retreat was a massive success. I feel it was meant to be exactly the way that it played out. And, I do think there is an element of life that I want to address because I think, I tried to explain to people what this retreat would mean, what it would mean to stay in a couple $1 million beach house right on the beach, what it means to be in the vibration of California, what it is to be in the energy field of coming together as a community in love and support and meditating every day and focusing on your spiritual development. So I think I did a good job of sharing that, but I think what happens especially when it comes to personal development, spiritual development, and really up-leveling our expansion and growth, our mind is going to work against us in the way, remember, your mind likes to keep you safe and the same. It's going to work against us in a way that it's going to say, you can't lose this money. That's too much money. You can't, and I can't quantify enough to people what an experience like this will do for your life and how you're going to go home different. And because you're going to go home different and you're going to de-identify with those things that are wounds, you're going to create abundance. And that money is really well spent. So I share this with you guys because I really feel strongly that when we're about to do something, when we're about to decide to do something really big, our mind is going to kick up and it's going to give us every reason why those things won't work out. And our job is to override that mind and to remember, and that's what this show is all about, to remember that we are powerful creators, to remember that we have universal support, that there's this co-creation going on, this orchestration going on, that we can't really factor into what's going to play out because we don't really know. It's energy that's unseen, right? It's the faith of things unseen, right? It's believing in things unseen. That's what faith is. So in order for us to leap, and I also believe, and I've learned this over the last, became super aware of this over the last couple of weeks, when we have a fear about something and we don't move towards it, we move away from it and we're like, nope, when we don't feel inspired to do it, that's okay. Like that's part of our process too. But when we do overcome that fear and just say hell yes and just believe it and jump and know the net's going to appear, we create so much expansion and growth. So the experiences that you may be afraid to go after, and wanting that security and wanting that feeling of everything's going to be okay, there's always those insecure times when we're between opportunities, when we when we leave a job and we're going to create something else, when we're about to start a new business, when we're about to put on a retreat, there's all of these unknowns that are going on in our mind, and our mind is going to kick up and want us to prepare for the worst, prepare for all those things that potentially could go wrong. And that's creating in the opposite direction of what we want. So, it's okay. Like all of it is okay. Everything is okay. Like it's okay if you do things, it's okay if you don't do things. But when you do things, when you really connect with the energy of all that is and all that is available to me, that's when you really see the miracles and the orchestration and the amazing and fantastic things that are waiting for you. They're literally like right out here waiting for you. So the retreat was amazing and successful, and it's really cool because today I kind of somehow, obviously the universe orchestrated this for me, fit in a day where I'm here by myself. So my family comes in tomorrow. We have the whole Duffy fam is going to be here, and the Michael fam, and I worked this day in somehow to be completely by myself. So I've been reading. I decided to do the podcast today because it's the best day to do it. And I love it. I love it. I don't want to take a day off from it. I don't want to take a week off from it. So it's been awesome. I've been sitting on the beach reading, and I took a little nap and I had some lunch, and my husband's coming tonight to have a nice we're just going to take a little time alone before my beautiful family comes. We have family pictures planned. So it was really, gosh, I just feel so blessed. And I'm not saying that to impress you or to make you jealous or to brag. Never, ever, ever am I doing that. I'm doing this because I was just a stay-at-home mom, and I just figured out universal law, and I figured out how to process things, and I figured out how to get into higher consciousness more. And I figured some things out that I want to share with you, that I feel so passionate and so compelled to share with you, so I can open this up for you, and so that you can start to be a powerful creator and create the life that you absolutely adore and love. So, okay, so let's get started. So this is episode 80. I thought it was 79. It's 80. I'm going to turn the air on just 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to just get up during my podcast and turn the air on because I'm getting hot. All right, I'm back. Hello. Okay, so let's jump into this. What is universal orchestration? Have you never heard of it? Have you heard of it? What do you think about it? So to me, universal orchestration is like we have all this energy that's going on that we cannot see. So there's all of these forces, there's all of these things, there's all of these miracles in play, right? That non-physical energy, like that the energy that comes out of our thoughts and our beliefs and our desires is in the atmosphere. It's in the atmosphere. And as we continue to get excited about it, to believe in it, to trust in it, and it will work even if you don't do this, I promise. I've been in fear and I've still manifested. But if you can get into that excitement and that passion and that getting out of bed with a pep in your step and that trust, what happens is that breaks down. And it breaks down into physical matter that actually creates things for you. And when you get really good at watching the energy field and you understand that there is this orchestration and you start to play on it, and you start play with it, and you understand that you are part of the orchestration. It's like you and the universe are orchestrating the entire thing. And when you grasp that, when you really grasp that, you start to live differently. You start to feel supported. There's no more of this feeling of being unsupported or alone. You start to feel supported. You start to feel excitement because you don't really know what's going to happen. And that's really awesome. So you have your very own personal support team, and it is activated by your desire, your faith, and your higher vibrational energy. So it's activated more, and the energy is sped up based on your very strong desire. So when things get really bad, that desire amplifies. So when it gets really bad, and also when you shift into higher places of solution. So you're like out of the problem, you're no longer frustrated, you're no longer in chaos, you're no longer scared and afraid and anxious, but you're in this feeling of calm. You're in the feeling of calm and trusting and knowing that things are working out for you. When you see evidence of it, you are surprised and delighted, right? When we see universal orchestration and like law of attraction in action, we go, whoa, holy crap, I can't believe that just happened. And most people that don't know about this will say, oh, that was a coincidence, right? We've heard that many times. Pam Grout, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. She wrote, not Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. I'm sorry. She wrote E Squared. She calls it God incidences. It's like when God is in play with you and you see the miracle for what it is. We have to start seeing this shit for what it is. Because if we're discounting it, if we're not really giving it credit, if we're not really even giving ourselves credit, like, whoo, I did that. I'll say that all the time to people when they manifest stuff. You did that. You did that. Like, it was your faith, it was your trust, it was your activation, it was your desire that activated your co-creative partnership, that activated your team in play. It put your team in play. But we forget. That's what we do. We forget. And no matter what miracles have happened, I mean, I have manifested $10,000 and got up the next day and thought, okay, what's next? I know what that feels like, to be like addicted to the manifestation process and feeling like I got to keep manifesting. I got to keep manifesting to show myself, and I'm never satisfied. I think that's the feeling. Like, it's like I'm never satisfied. That is the beginning of a law of attraction relationship, is when you're in that beginning. Like, I'm a very different manifester than how I was when I was younger and new to this stuff, because I always used to create through chaos. I had a lot of chaotic things going on. We had a lot of financial struggle, and we were seeing big miracles, but we also had big desires and big emotions. And it felt like the world was falling, and then the world would come back together, and it was intense, and it wasn't really that fun. It was fun, but it wasn't fun, a lot of insecurity and fear and all of that stuff. So if you're in that place right now, just know this is the beginning of your process, and it's totally fine, because eventually you're going to get to the point where you trust more. You're going to get to the point where you're going to have so much evidence that maybe you'll start a podcast to talk about it, because you won't be able to keep it to yourself, right? So when you're in the very beginning, you're very much attracted to, materialism and attracting material possessions. And I need this and I want this. And like in the past, when I've wanted, when I've talked about living in a beach house and stuff, it was different. I don't know. It was more of a hope and a wish and a dream. And if I could win the lottery, and, felt real far out there. Now I'm sitting in one. So, and this is like the fourth time, okay, that I've been in a place that overlooks the water, and I know what it feels like. I'm identifying with, especially being here by myself, because it's like I'm in the total identity of living in this home, which I'm in love with, by the way. I'm in love with this house. This is the top of the house. There's a couple of bedrooms, and then there's a bottom floor that has like the same thing with a kitchen and stuff. So it's really cool. It's like two separate units. But it's amazing and it's beautiful, and I'm right here, and I get to walk out and see the sunset every day. And those are things that I really want. So every once in a while I'm walking around here, and I get that little twinge of like, whoo, I got to do this. Whoo, I got to have this, right? But those are lackful energies. Those are lackful vibrations. That's the old me thinking this is impossible. This isn't going to last. I need to, I need to figure out a way. I need to, no, I just need to settle in to this place I'm in now. I need to just activate more of this energy by being over the moon happy that I'm here, that I need to feel home. I need to feel like I belong here, right? So that's how you go from that beginning manifester to more of a relaxed spiritual manifester who actually manifests from power and not from chaos. All right. So why do we forget? Why do we forget? Why do we keep forgetting that we are so powerful? Like I do this work with people all the time and consistently am reminding them. And it's probably why you listen to this podcast, because it has an activation within it that reminds you that you are a powerful creator. We always feel better when somebody says, you are a powerful creator, and we believe it. We feel always instantly almost feel better. So we forget because we come in and out of these higher states of consciousness. So if you are a meditator, if you're not meditating, that's a huge part of why you keep forgetting. But if you are a meditator, and we've been in some serious states of higher consciousness here, we're meditating to the ocean waves. We did a sound bath with an incredible woman a couple nights ago, and it was the best sound bath I've ever been a part of. When we put ourselves in higher states of consciousness, we're in that flow. So there's no separation between us and who we really are, our truest self, that expression of all that is. When you're in higher consciousness, you are one. You are one with everything. You are part of the energetic field. So you're coming in and out of that. You can put yourself in states of higher consciousness when you're not meditating by being present, by enjoying life, by being in gratitude, by noticing the beauty of nature, by looking in a loved one's eyes, by really feeling your connection between you and others. You can put yourself there. It doesn't have to just be in meditation, but meditation is the practice that will help you to get there more often. So I think what happens is we forget and we don't fully allow the acclamation of the miracles that have happened to us in the past, because we're human and we're moving fast and we have a lot of contrast and we have a lot of things happening. So in that energy field of having a lot of things happening, it gets lost, and then we forget who we are. And every time we forget who we are, when we are reminded, we become more of who we are because of the contrast, because we've left, we come back and we're like, holy cow, this is so great. So eventually you'll be in these states of knowing who you are all the time. There's not very many. There are times that I forget, but not lately. And I do believe and trust that that's part of my just putting myself in higher consciousness more. My meditations have been deeper. I've been super committed to longer meditations. Not that that makes any difference, because just a little meditation is better than anything else. But I've just been really focused on fostering my relationship. I'm also not drinking alcohol. And I truly do feel that as much as I don't think that it really stunts the growth unless you're drinking a lot. I've still gotten higher places drinking. I don't know. I have a little bit of a freedom right now in being in higher consciousness and feeling myself go deeper when I don't have that substance in my body. So that could be part of it as well. So good thing the universe doesn't give up on us. It never gives up on you. It will always show up for you. It will not give up on you. And here's how to get the most. This is what you're listening for. Here's how to get the most. Here's the 8 things you can do to get the most out of your co-creative partnership with the universe. Number 1, become more aware. Look for signs. Look everywhere. Be in that heightened state of awareness where you are conscious. When we go back into our mind, when we're in that monkey mind, when we're not paying attention to what is in front of us, we miss things. We absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, miss things. And because of that, we miss miracles. We miss signs. We miss the universe telling us to go this way. We miss things. So if you want to be in a heightened state of awareness, it's about being present. And what does presence mean? It means you're here. You're right here, right now. You're listening to me right here, right now. You're not thinking about what's for dinner. You're not thinking about your to-do list. You're not thinking about that problem. You're not thinking about what you have left to do for work today. You are present and aware, and you have open focus. So I talked about open focus before, and this is from the book, Take Off Your Glasses and See, but I've deepened it a little bit. So open focus is like when you look out and you kind of use your peripherals and you notice what you can see from your peripherals. And one of the reasons why glasses make your eyes worse is because there's no peripheral vision. So you don't get that kind of muscle lengthening or strengthening by having open focus. So for universal law, what open focus is, I am aware, I'm awake, I am aware, and I am noticing everything around me because I'm present. I'm not up here. I'm not in my monkey mind, which actually puts on blinders. If you've ever seen anyone, I call it business mode. If you've ever seen anyone, they're not available for jokes. They're not available to say hi. They're not available for anything because they are literally in their minds going to the next event with limited vision. That's what it is. Limited potential, limited vision. If they open their focus and they get out of their mind, they might find the solution to their problem because the problem and the solution have different energy fields. So open focus, becoming more aware, looking for signs. I am constantly looking for license plates. We've actually turned some of our friends onto this that were like, how do you guys always notice this? That's what I'll get from my friends. How do you always notice this? I'm like, I'm awake and aware. I've been doing this since before we moved to California. I always notice license plates. 777. To me, that's being in the right place, right time. And you can look these numbers up. I like looking up numbers because I feel like there's universal orchestration. When you look things up on your phone, and in that moment, it gives you a meaning. And usually that meaning is perfect for you. So I feel like there's an orchestration there as well. Animals. I see animals. I always look up animal totems. Like there's spiritual animal totems that are usually based on Native American stuff. And again, I trust the meaning and the definition that comes to me. I worked with a shaman once, Joseph Whitewolf. He's in Sedona. If you're ever looking for a shaman, he is fabulous. He actually has a house you can stay in, a little room you can stay in, and then he'll take you out into all the sacred places in Sedona and do a little session with you. It's pretty amazing. So he told me that you could just kind of close your eyes and ask for the meaning. I have never not done that yet. I'm still relying on my phone, but I ain't no shaman, you know. Maybe I will be. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So animals, animals that make themselves super duper obvious to you. Like I had hawks flying back and forth one day. So obvious, squealing all day long, just screeching. So things like that happen, looking those things up and taking that meaning to heart and saying, this is something that is for me. The universe is orchestrating this to get me to pay attention, to get me to know something, to get me to understand and to feel my faith and support in the universal orchestration. So there's other things that you can look for, just numbers on houses or different things. I have just had so many incredible universal orchestrations just on this trip alone with the women I was working with. And one of the biggest ones I think that really blew my mind, there was two, actually, this is the biggest one on the trip. And then there was one actually today I want to share. So the first one was we did this whole meditation process in the morning. And my meditations are very intuitive. I don't write them out. So they just kind of come. I just sit and I channel. It's just like when I do my posts on Facebook. And what came was I was doing an inner child meditation, was balloons. There was a little girl and she's holding balloons and they're releasing balloons and what they represent. So these are like old energies, old emotions, usually negative things, maybe negative, things that they believe about themselves. And we're doing this visually and we're letting balloons go. So we go out to dinner that night and we had a couple things happen that night. And this was one of the last things that happened. And we're like, we're in Laguna Beach. I brought them to Laguna. We went out to dinner. We were listening to music. We walked to get gelato and there's art everywhere and there's people everywhere and there's music everywhere. And it is a super high vibe environment. So we're walking by this jewelry store and two of us stop and look in this jewelry store, and there is a necklace pendant with a little girl holding balloons. And I'm just like, what? Like, my mind is blown. And my friend, participant, retreat person is like freaking out too. Like, we're just like, you can't make this up. Like, what are the chances of that happening earlier and walking by that? It's just, when you feel it, when you viscerally feel it, and you're like, wow, like, this is, something's going on here. And that's what I said. I'm like, this is a setup. This is a total freaking set. Like, we are being set up in the most positive way possible. There is orchestration going on. We are not alone. There's somebody else here with us, you know? I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Truman Show, but I always think about that. But it's better than that. It's better than that, because people aren't playing puppet. There's no one playing puppet with our lives. There is just a non-physical support team that wants you to know that they are there for you, and that you are not alone, and that you are loved and supported. And I love that. All right. So we're becoming more aware, and become more aware of people you're talking about, or people you're thinking about, and then you bump into them or they call you. That is law of attraction in action. That is probably one of the simplest and most wonderful things, but celebrate those. Like, get excited about those, because they are all part of it as well. Or if you're thinking about a particular car, this used to happen to me all the time when I wanted my car. I would see them everywhere. And what that is, they're there. But because you're focused on them, you notice every single one of them. And then I believe universal orchestration amplifies it, because I have seen an insane amount of cars when I put an intention out to see a particular car. E Squared has a lot of great, that's Pam Grout, has a lot of great experiments, 9 simple experiments you can do to prove the law of attraction works. That is a cool book to really solidify what you have going on in your environment, and how you are able to manipulate the environment to what you want to see. All right, moving on. Meditate. I say this probably every show. So meditate, and what meditation is going to do for you, it's going to put you into higher states of consciousness, which means it raises your vibration, which means you're in a different vibrational place than just being in your head and being in the problems. It's going to help you moving forward to be more present to your life experience. When you are more present, you are more aware. When you are more aware, you're going to see more miraculous things happening. Because of that, you will live more in a life of excitement, and a life where you are consistently looking, consistently noticing, consistently celebrating, consistently manifesting. That's what happens, because what it is it's momentum. Law of attraction is momentum. So the more excited you are, the more you see, the more you see, the more excited you are. So it's like an engine that's like ramping up and showing you exactly what your manifestational powers are. And I love that. All right, focus more on what you are looking to manifest. So fill your field with it. If you want to become I don't know, if you want to become a doctor, you know, you got to go to college, right? You got to surround yourself by the books and the research and the studying and all of that. If you want to become let's think about like a career that you want to do. If you want to become a writer, that's the easiest one, because I'm doing this. If you want to become a writer, you have to start writing. You have to start filling your field. I have one of my retreat participants and beautiful ladies is reading The Artist's Way, and she's doing The Artist's Way, which is basically you get up and you read every day. I'm actually reading her book right now, who wrote that, called Floor Sample. And this is one of my other miracles that happened today. So Floor Sample is, it's Julia Cameron's life story. And really crazy. I'm working with someone on a really big project. And recently he just told me to see the movie Taxi Driver. And I'm reading this book, and she's writing a book for someone. And that really resonates with me, because I'm taking my writing to a new level with this project. And she is with Martin Scorsese, and he is working on the script Taxi Driver. And I'm just like, what? Like, I've never heard of this movie. I don't even know what this movie is about. I know Robert De Niro's in it, but I've never even heard of it. And then, you know, here I am reading about it, and I'm just like, there is something going on here. There is, and that's what like prompted the whole thing for the show, this universal orchestration, that when you trust and when you believe in it and when you really put yourself in place with it, you like really activate energy and start realizing that, researching, talking about it, getting excited about it, believing it's possible, all of those things are being orchestrated for you. It's like things are clicking into place. Things are being set up for you, opportunities. But the activation of energy is super important because it shows the universe that you're serious. It's like you've got to do those things. You got to sign up for that class. You got to sit down and write a chapter. You got to do the things that are going to take you closer to the identity of what you're looking to create. If I was a writer, what would I do? I would get up and write, right? Hello, working on a couple books here. Yeah, that's all I got to do. It's pretty freaking simple when you think about it. And if you're in a situation where you want to write and you're feeling writer's block, connect with me because I have stuff that can help you release that and get through that. My email is livelifegolden@gmail.com. I just did a creators course. I've got a lot of information on that. I may start that again. I'm not sure. My next little endeavor that I'm going to put out there is going to be a manifestation mind training. And that's just going to be a one-time teaching that I'm going to share for like, I don't know, 47, 57. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be affordable, and you're going to want to do it. You're going to want to do it because there's information in there that can really help you train your mind to create the miracles and manifestations that you're looking to create. Okay, number 4 is get excited. Be in a high vibration. Act as if your thing is coming. Like, how would I act if I knew this thing was right on my doorstep? Like, if I had a guarantee that I was going to win $100 million tomorrow, what would I be doing today? How would I be feeling today? Because that is the alignment of the energy field that allows it to start to become more of you. If you're in poverty, if you're worried about your bills, if you are fighting and resisting and struggling, you will have a really hard time manifesting money. It will be really slow. I've been there. I've done it. How we shifted that was we stopped allowing that stuff to suck the life force out of us. And we started trusting more, and we started having faith more, and we started activating more. We started doing more things. Don't just sit there. If you're broke, go do something. Go activate energy. Just the act of getting out of the house, just the act of doing something and saying, I'm serious about this, pays off huge dividends in the universe. My daughter is starting a furniture company. She actually will be on my show. We recorded one and it got cut off, and I'm not sure if I'm going to share it. I think we're going to do a new show together, but she just recently quit her job and she started this furniture company. And what she started doing is she's doing custom furniture, but she started making stuff because she decided she was going to do a festival. So she started custom making furniture and getting it all ready for the festival. And then she went to the festival and she didn't sell anything, but she said it was so successful because she made all these contacts. She got all these people to give her email address. She has all these people interested and want custom pieces, these really high-end people who now have seen her prices and had no problem with it. And that's what she needs. She needs a high-end clientele who's going to connect with her furniture and her prices. And so she was super excited about it. It didn't feel like a fail at all. She felt like she really won. And now she has all of these like people that want to give them barns, which is what she makes the furniture from, all these different connections. But if she had stayed home and just kind of waited and wished and hoped for someone to call her out of the blue, she'd be, she wouldn't have this activation of a higher vibration, which is excitement and interest and opportunity. So you've got to get yourself out there. That's really, I cannot say that enough. Just do something. You got to do something, right? Stop letting your mind talk you out of it. So other high vibrations are presence, joy, and gratitude, like being grateful for what you have right now and understanding that there's more coming when you're in that energy of satisfaction and gratitude. And I think that's the difference between being a newer manifestor and being where I am now, being like, on my 12-year journey of knowing about law of attraction. being in this place now where I've seen so much evidence of it, and I trust so much that I have a deep satisfaction. I don't feel like I need to chase things. I don't feel like I'm not going to manifest things. I don't feel like I have to wish and hope and pray for this beach house. I just am. Like I am the I am, right? I just am. And you can be that as well. All right, believe the signs when you see them. So don't discredit signs. And if you have people around you who are discrediting signs and saying, oh, that's a freaking coincidence, don't listen to them and don't share your stuff with them, because, they're just killjoys. They just don't really understand the law of attraction. And if you try to explain it and you try to convince them, you're probably going to frustrate yourself into a place of, negativity. And it's just not worth it. Some people just aren't ready for this information. They don't understand it. All you need to do is be a living, breathing example. You don't have to push. You don't have to prove. You don't have to just be the example. Just live by showing. People eventually will just go, what the hell are you doing? I need to know what you're doing. And eventually they may start to wake up. You may be part of their awakening, which is super cool. 6, trust that you have support. So less fear, less desperate energy, more allowing and more activating. And when you get to the point where you've done all you can do, just look for and follow the energy. We don't have to keep pushing. We don't have to be in desperation. When you've done everything you can do, when you've really activated all of the energy that you can, then it's time to allow. Then it's time to trust in your co-creative partnership and watch the energy. That's when you follow the energy. So everything that's happening to you right now, if you could just take a higher perspective and you can notice and pay attention and become aware of what has transformed, what has transpired, what got me to right here. And you can go over the manifestations that have already gotten you to where you are right now. You will gain some confidence when you do that. So if you're forgetting, if you're in a state of forgetting, if you're in a state of doubt or fear, sit down and remind yourself how many times you've manifested. Remind yourself of the really massive miracles that have happened in your life. And if you don't feel like you have any, or you can't remember any, listen to some of my shows, because I've got hundreds of other people's that I share, because knowing that the collective consciousness has the ability to do this means you have the ability to do this, because we are all connected. We are all one energy field. 7, stop being so freaking serious. Stop being so heavy. Start being a little more lighthearted. Start feeling a little more love. Start allowing yourself to let go of, like recently we've been talking a lot about parenting, and my retreat participants have kids, and I have kids, and they kind of got to see firsthand what Live Life Goldyn parenting is like. And it's not perfect, it's not perfect. And we're all doing the best we can. But one thing that has been like a massive realization for me, and how I've interrupted stuff that's going on with my kids, instead of like allowing it to ruin the retreat or ruin the way I feel, or create misery for me, or make me overly worry about my kids and stuff, is even when they're being teenagers, even when they're being not at their best, I can shift into, I just love them so much. And I've realized that if I can shut that dialogue down about what's wrong with them, about what I need to fix for them, about what they need to do, about they should do this, if I can shut that down pretty immediately and not create a momentum with it, I get out of worry, I get out of anxiety, I get out of misery, I get out of trying to fix them, right? I get out of trying to fix them. My friend's son texted her and he said, this was so funny and so poignant to what we were talking about. There's a hurricane coming to Florida right now. And he texted her and he said, what are we going to do about this hurricane? And it was just, we had such a laugh about it, because it's like, well, what do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do about a hurricane, right? So really, although I have been known to control the weather with my mind, I just think it's so funny that when we have a relationship with our children or anyone, and we're constantly trying to fix them or save them or do for them, or, we're in resistance to their path, we're in resistance to what they're doing, we're number one, pulling ourselves out of our own joy. We're creating a lot of misery for ourselves because there's not a lot that we can do. We can manifest for other people, by the way, but we can't do it from a place of looking at their problems and fretting about them. We can't do them from a place of worrying about them. Some people are convinced that worrying is the way to get what you want, and it's not. Worrying is like praying for what you don't want. So if you want to connect with parenting from a higher vibration, it's about setting boundaries. Yep, getting better at that, setting boundaries, saying what you need to say, and healing what you need to heal. I had a big, massive healing thing come up for me. And it had to do with my own childhood and my own mother. And because of that, and recognizing that, I am no longer overcompensating for what I didn't get from my own mom. And that has made me such a better mother, such a better mother. I am no longer trying to overgive to my children because I know that disempowers them. I used to do that. So in all of your relationships, if you're overgiving, if there is a real discrepancy in the exchange of energy, you've got to start creating some boundaries and deciding what is best for your well-being will actually be for everyone's well-being. Because if we're disempowering people and saving them and, being in a situation where we are not being our best, like we're giving too much, we're giving from a place of lack, we're trying to show them that we love them, we're believing that we're not a good mother, we're feeling guilty. That mother guilt is always connected to not feeling good enough. And if you're doing your best, you are good enough, because whatever is happening with your child or with this relationship, if you're giving it your best, there's expansion and growth that is happening for your child or your spouse or the person you're in a relationship with that is conducted on you not disempowering them. That's how people learn. That's how people grow. That's how people expand. It's not by us coddling them. It's not by us saving them. It's about us pulling back a little bit and saying, okay, what do I need to do for me? And then what can I do to empower them and not disempower them? All right. 8, last thing, ask for what you need and from a place of it already being done. So when we ask for what we need, instead of begging for what you need or please, oh Lord, I can't, please. Instead of coming from that lackful place, you come from a more centered place around it's already done, which means I am. You use I am statements. I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am living in a beach house. You decree it. That was Florence Scovel Shinn. You decree it. I decree that this is happening. That's an old school saying, huh? I affirm that what I want or better is coming. I affirm that. I affirm that. I am, right? That I am is so powerful. Not I will be or I am going to. It is I am. I am claims it. I am brings it into existence. I am the I am. When you really realize that, when you go into higher states of consciousness and you claim that, I am the I am, good stuff happens. Good stuff happens. And you can do that during your meditation too. So listen, you are a powerful creator. You are, beyond a shadow of a doubt, a powerful creator. And you have the potential to create beyond your wildest dreams, beyond anything you can even fathom. It starts with your imagination. It starts with your connection to higher consciousness and your belief and trust that it is possible. And when it starts there and you start to see a little bit of energy moving and evidence happening, it's just continuing to amplify that and to no longer taking yourself to a place where you're in doubts, you're in fears, you're going back to, and it doesn't matter if you do that necessarily because it's part of the human condition to do that. And again, as we progress and as we expand and grow, we're going to learn more from doing that contrast and not actually working through our fears, but instead letting our fears kind of take us down a different road. We're going to learn more from that than if we had just, foraged ahead. If we have just, busted through the energy field. It was funny. We were talking about kind of blowing up your life, and I said, one of the surest ways to expand and grow is to blow up your life. And no one wants to do that. No one wants to feel that energy of insecurity, even though most of us walk around with a false sense of security. They think their corporate job is secure. And, we think we're always going to just wake up every day and do the same things. And we have that need for security, but it really is a false sense. So when you kind of blow up your life, like, sell everything you own and move across the country, or just quit your job with nothing there to hold you, to save you, to catch you, there's no obvious evidence of it before you do it. When you do stuff like that, your faith grows. You see so much. I've seen so many people go through this, and it always surprises and delights me. I love hearing about it. If you have manifestation stories, share them with me. I love it. I absolutely love it, because it's evidence. It's evidence of this unseen universal orchestration, and we all need to know about it, and we all need to draw from it, and we all need to become one with it. So Remember, every time you are about to decide something, you have universal forces on your side. You have infinite intelligence and wisdom that you haven't even scratched the surface of. So you're always going to know what to do. You're always going to have people showing up to support you and to show you the way. So there's nothing that you can say yes to that would be too much for you. There is not. You absolutely will. You will figure it out. You will be given all the information you need to become successful with it. And if you don't, like they say, failure, I don't really believe there is failure. It's all success, because you're putting yourself in a place of expansion and growth. So no matter what happens, no matter what it looks like, you're expanding and growing just from saying yes to life, just from doing something different, from shaking things up a little bit. Stop living the same thing over and over again. Do something different. Go outside in nature. Mess with your routine a little bit, because when we're in these automatic behaviors and automatic routines, we're not drawing from the miraculous. We're not drawing from universal orchestration when we're just so robotic about life and just believing we have to stay in these life-sucking jobs and we have to save for retirement and we have to do all this stuff, because if we don't, oh my goodness, the sky is going to fall. And it's like, there's no sky falling here. There's a net that's going to catch you every time. There's universal orchestration on your side. There is this beautiful co-creative partnership that you have access to 24/7. You have access to it. Invite it in, call it in. Divine energy, I trust in you. Non-physical guides, I trust in you. Angelic support, I trust in you. You always have that to call upon and to trust in it and have faith and to create from it. All right, that is my show for today. I love you all. I'm really excited for all that is to come. Let's see. Did I finish? Hold on. I didn't finish. I still have a few minutes too. I got more to say. How about that? All right. So we got to stop walking around clueless. We got to stop walking around clueless. Like, we got to stop walking around in that business mode in our heads, thinking about our problems, and be more aware. Be more aware of the people, the surroundings, the beauty. We got to stop forgetting and start realizing and remembering who we truly are. I am the I am. Say that to yourself many, many times a day. I am the I am. It will help obliterate doubts for you. It's a high vibrational statement. I am the I am. I say it during my meditations a lot. I say it when I wake up in the middle of the night. I say it throughout the day. I am the I am. When I want to manifest something like a green light, I am the I am. If you knew how wonderful your life was going to play out, you wouldn't spend one more second worrying or fretting or being in anxiety. If you really knew, if you trusted, if you had faith, and it absolutely is working out for you. If you could continue to reflect on all you have already done, you might remain more faithful. If you can continue to go back to those amazing miracles that have already happened for you, you might keep that activation alive and witness more miracles, because you're in that higher vibrational state of remembering. If you could disempower the mind and its insistence that you are amazing and fantastic and powerful, you would create exactly that, powerfully and constantly. Life is relentless. So I shared this on a little TikTok video that I did, and it was this girl at the gym. She was wearing the shirt. I don't know if I talked about this already, but I'm gonna talk about it again because I think we forget that life is relentless, and I think sometimes we get tired and we get overwhelmed. And the whole reason why we get tired and overwhelmed is because we're not allowing ourselves to be in higher states of consciousness and remember who we are. We're in this energy of like, I'm all by myself and I got to push the energy field by myself and I got to work hard and I got to exhaust myself. That is not the way to be in a higher vibrational manifestation level. Like in that leveling, in that level of manifestation, exhaustion ain't there. It's not there. You're not activating energy when you're exhausted. So self-care is important. Taking time off is important. Not pushing yourself all the time is really important. So you must be diligent and focused on your mind. You must be diligent and focused on what you are allowing to transpire, because that diligence, that focus, that determination, that interrupting doubts, that interrupting negative emotions, that disconnecting from your addiction to your emotions, not being addicted to drama, putting yourself in places where you feel satisfied, where you feel happy, you feel joyful, and you let go of all those things that create misery for you. You're going to continue to put yourself in a place of higher states, those higher states that actually create, where you get to say what gets created. You're not creating by default and frustration. All right. That was the rest of the show. Thank you for being here with me. I'm really excited about growing this show. We've done well. We're doing well. We can always use more shares, more likes, more. We could use all of that. If you could just share these with your friends. If you have an episode that really could help somebody, just share that with them. We don't think to do that. I have a garbage truck out here. Love it. Love it. So nice and loud. So share it with your friends. And I do have an opportunity for you to review my book. I'm really interested in getting reviews right now because it helps my book to show up on Amazon, Mindful Manifestation Secrets. You can, again, email me livelifegolden@gmail.com and I'll send you a free copy of the Kindle version. So let's do that. If we can get more reviews on that book, that would be amazing. If you've read it in the past, you can give me a review now. Just inbox me on Facebook or Instagram or send me an email and I will, I'll send that to you. But get in Live Life Golden on Facebook too, Manifest Live Life Golden. Get in there because that's where all my stuff is. That's where I'm doing live videos now. Also on TikTok, Live Life Golden. So I just would love to see this thing go gangbusters because this information is life-changing. It is freaking life-changing. And it's so much fun to be on this journey where you are changing your life consistently and constantly for the better. So much fun. All right. I love you guys all. Peace out.